The drop in numbers of Europeans traveling to the U.S. is staggering, and depending on the country, it's as down as much as 42% over last year. That's just Europeans not traveling to the U.S.
Travelers are choosing Europe, Asia, Latin America, anywhere but the US. This move isn't just ridiculous, it's reckless. It tells the world that unless you're wealthy, you're not welcome in America. It's a direct hit to tourism, a blow to airlines, and a slap in the face to travelers everywhere. What exactly is Trump thinking?
Okay, y'all, I'm going to offer you a little bit different of a consideration on this video. I want you to think about this a little bit differently than the way that this is being presented. I agree. I think that a $250 visa fee to come into the United States might be an issue. But I want to put it in terms that most people are not going to listen to, because most Americans are kind of tuned out about this. And I don't think TikTok is going to show this video to people in Germany and England and Zimbabwe and Thailand and places like that. Places where people are and might come to America after seeing this, or may not come to America, right? But my friend Bernie in Austria sent me this. He lives in Salzburg. Nice guy. You can go watch his lives all the time. He does really wonderful lives. And there's this move to charge people $250 to get a visa. Now, there's a lot of places in the world yours truly would want to go to, and there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of hoops, there's a lot of different things. You can't just go there because you got a passport. You can't just show up, right, with a plane ticket and a passport. And you got to get a tourist visa in a lot of places, and if you're going to be there for any length of time, your tourist visa can cost you a lot of money. The premise of that video was saying that it was going to deter tourism because people don't want to pay $250. And I'll just tell you up front that a lot of people outside of the United States, are you ready, have a lot more money, disposable income right now than most Americans. And you guys always have. You guys take 2 trips a year, you go on vacation. A lot of Europeans and the English and a lot of people throughout Russia, they have the financial wherewithal to do things that a lot of Americans just can't do. They just can't financially afford it, not because Americans are stupid and don't save their money and have credit card debt or whatever. It's just because everyday Americans, middle class Americans, are up to their eyeballs in bills, in maintenance bills, everyday maintenance bills, and we pay premiums on everything that we interact with and touch. So, my controversial take on this issue is, not that it's going to deter people, but $250 or $15, it's going to have the same impact. The reason why people don't want to come to America right now is because, and they're saying it in the news, so don't take it from me. You can go watch some of the news reports. People don't want to come to the United States right now because they're afraid of getting snapped up by immigration, ICE, and getting deported to some other place. Today they could be sitting in a cafe somewhere in Paris, having something to eat, and they're getting ready to board a plane out of Charles de Gaulle, and they're going to land in LaGuardia, and they're going to touch down, and they're going to be in the city, and then the next thing you know, they're worried that ICE might pick them up, and then day 3 they're in El Salvador. And if you don't think that this is a real concern for people outside of America, you're lying to yourself. And that you're lying to yourself because here on the news, they've talked about having to move the World Cup venue. Why are they moving the World Cup venue? Because people are afraid. People from overseas countries are afraid of getting snapped up by ICE. Do you understand that? Yeah, they're not, bro. These people aren't worried about the $250. I'm telling you. And I appreciate anybody that would send me this and say, what do you think about this? Do you think that, these people that are going on these, these vacations from one side of the planet to the other. You think they're really, that's going to break the bank on this on their vacation. That's roughly going to cost them $12,000 most likely to come for any length of time to the United States. $250 is going to be the deal breaker. No, bro. No. No. All I can say is, God damn, I got tan. That's what happens when you go golfing every day. It's like, what a shit show. And there's no filter on me either. It's just the way I look. Ugh. I'm all shiny. Because, out here you got to put lotion on. You got to put lotion all over your goddamn body so that you don't burn. Anyways, $250 is not going to deter people from Scotland or Germany or Italy or Romania or Czech Republic coming to the United States to have a vacation. What is going to deter people is the fear of getting arrested by immigration customs for, and you might say, oh, that's irrational fears. Yes, it is. It's the same irrational fears that we have when we get onto an airplane and we think the fucking thing's going to crash, right? It's an irrational fear, but it's okay to have irrational fears. Irrational fears keep you alive. Irrational fears are normal. They're just irrational. There's rational fears and irrational fears. A rational fear is, I don't know if I can afford this holiday. I might get over to New York and be broke and be living in a roach motel for 2 weeks and all the food might be bad. That's a rational fear. It's like that could happen. Irrational fear is I'm really afraid of flying. I don't like flying. Every time I fly, there's lots of turbulence. We fell out of the sky, 5,000 feet. And every time I go on a business trip, everything is good. But every time I'm with my family, it gets scary. So I'm afraid to fly over the ocean. I don't want to be in a plane that long. That's an irrational fear. And getting picked up by ICE, even though it's an irrational fear, it's legitimate. And that's what's going on with these folks. I hope that helps. Hope that helps for anybody watching this. All the best to everybody outside of the United States. I know y'all think that we're the nicest people. We really are. We're super polite and we love everybody. And it's nice to see everybody when we see you. And I love if you come here and tell me a story. It's great. But people aren't going to be stopped because of $250. Guarantee it.